Konami has been struggling with Silent Hill, and while gamers just simply want another really good iteration in the franchise, unfortunately they released Ascension, which got blasted by gamers, and now they've released another short free game called Silent Hill: The Short Message, which is being panned by everyone. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, they only just announced this a few days ago at the PlayStation State of Play, and they shadow dropped it the same day, and a lot of people were really excited to hear that it's a free game, so it's not like we expected some 10-hour-long experience. But when it comes to shorter games, we still expect them to be good. We still expect them to be enjoyable, but unfortunately, Konami has definitely been struggling in where to take this franchise and what direction to go in that fans will actually be happy with. And this, of course, is on the heels of Silent Hill Ascension. It released only a few months ago, back in October, and it got absolutely destroyed. As you can see, it's got a 0.6 on Metacritic. That is the lowest score I have seen for any product in a very long time. People were not happy with how it was basically an interactive movie, but if you swiped your credit card, if you paid for the microtransactions, you could actually affect the story more. So basically it was like a streamer's haven. A streamer could set up a game, they could be streaming, and then their audience could pick a decision, and if some people swipe their credit cards more than others, they could affect it more. If you had a lobby with, say, 4 friends, that could happen. But on the heels of Silent Hill Ascension, which failed, we now have the short message, which is definitely a little bit more positively received, but still not positive if we look at the franchise as a whole. It is sitting at a 6.6 user score on Metacritic, which is extremely low, especially for a free product. When it comes to free items, usually people are a little bit more lenient on the quality. People usually are a little bit more easily enthused, but that is not the case. And if you do not know what Silent Hill: The Short Message is, it really becomes obvious very quickly when reading into the synopsis of the problem. Or also, you could just go to YouTube and you could watch another playthrough. This game is really not that long, but it definitely does not hit that Silent Hill feeling quite as people would want. It says, though, this is just an IGN article wrapping up this story. It says it is a brand new game, Silent Hill, announced and released as a free download on PlayStation 5. It says this compact few-hour first-person game centers on teenage protagonist Anita as she searches for her missing friend Maya in a spooky abandoned building. Basically, her friend has gone missing. She's not exactly sure where she is, but she gets a bunch of text messages from her friend Maya's phone number that basically lead her to this abandoned apartment building known as the Villa. And of course, that instantly is supposed to be very creepy because she doesn't know the area. She knows of its like negative reputation. Apparently, a lot of people go there and bad things happen to them, or they do things like commit suicide, self-harm, all of those things. But as this article says, and as you can tell by the journalists' kind of wrap up of this, the game makes effective use of its themes of suicide, self-harm, bullying, and isolation to create a feeling of genuine dread, bringing the central themes of early games in this series entries into a modern perspective. This is basically the whole entire shtick of this game, is basically bullying, about how her friend Maya has led herself to do some bad things to herself, and has felt this isolation because of online bullying. She has been bullied, she has been mocked, and, you know, as you're going throughout the game, like on the walls, there's post-it notes with all of these terrible things she's been called ugly, dumb, stupid, horrific, like all of these just plain mean things. And a big focus is bullying in this, and social media, and how social media can be such a toxic and negative thing to younger individuals. So you're basically in a game where you're running around a maze apartment building while they shove story at you, and it's been described as a walking simulator. I mean, it is a walking simulator. What a disappointing entry. Social media being toxic, in my opinion, is not a powerful message in any way, shape, or form. We live in a world where social media has been around long enough and integrated into society to the point where everybody already realizes what it is and how to escape it. Spoiler alert, the monster that is following Anita around this whole time and chasing her around is her own guilt for not speaking up to defend her friend, her own guilt that she did not be the bigger person and try to be a more positive influence in her friend Maya's life. That is the villain in this story. And I just feel like this storyline that talks about how a girl was traumatized by being bullied, whether in real life or on social media, is like someone talking about Facebook in 2007 when a lot of teenagers, didn't exactly completely understand social media because it was so new. But today, that's not the case. Most teenagers are on social media, whether it's something like TikTok or Twitter, or they use things like Snapchat, right? Like all of these things already exist, and most teenagers understand what it is. I mean, the way to escape it is by turning it off and by ultimately ignoring the people that are being mean to you and the people that are bullying you or the people who are saying things that you do not like. And of course, this game was made by Bloober Team, and Bloober has gotten their claws into Silent Hill over the past few years, and I've got to be honest, I am not the biggest fans of them. I mean, nobody really likes Bloober, so why is Konami just handing them Silent Hill, a franchise that could still make them a boatload of money if they actually picked good people to make their games? Like, why not go to Tango Gameworks? They've made amazing games like The Evil Within 1 and 2, so they can clearly make horror games. Then Hi-Fi Rush was fantastic, one of the best games to release last year. Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo was extremely lackluster, but they've got more hits than misses. And if you look at Bloober Team, oh my god, their titles are just really not that good. And of course, it's been, this rumor over the past few years that Tango Gameworks wants to make an Evil Within 3, so it's not like they're saying, oh, we're not interested in creating games in this genre anymore, or that's just kind of a phase in the past and we want to move on to bigger and better things. No, they're still actively thinking about making this game because they've seen how successful the other two are. And again, I love the Evil Within 1. It was amazing. Evil Within 2 was definitely not as good, but still not bad. But if we look on the flip side at what Bloober Team has made, it's just a disappointing list. Like The Medium and Blair Witch, such a disappointing lineup of games over the past few years, and both of those at least had a full rating point less than the Evil Within games. Those games were, The Medium and Blair Witch, were not highly praised in any way, shape, or form. And of course, if we look at, other projects like Ascension, that was made by Genvin Entertainment, who had only made The Walking Dead Last Mile in 2022, and the other co-creator was Behavior Interactive, and yes, they've done some big things like Dead by Daylight, but either way, it's Konami who has no idea what the frick they are doing with this series, because they're greenlighting these projects and finding teams to make them, so they could be finding better teams than, like, Bloober and Genvid and Behavior Interactive. The ideas they're coming up with are not working. And even though people are very excited for Silent Hill 2 remake and we're praying Bloober does a decent job with it, people still think it looks far too similar to the Resident Evil 4 remake. I really want it to be good. I want it to be a fantastic remake, even though I think that remakes are a little bit risky now because we've gotten so many over the past few years and people are getting sick and tired of them. I still want this to be a good remake, but maybe Konami needs to find a developer and tell them, hey, we want a Silent Hill game, go through everything we've made and all of our products and just make something authentic with great new characters, an in-depth story, the whole 9 yards, but they haven't done that, and instead they're greenlighting like these half-ass projects like Ascension, which was a microtransaction nightmare. The short message, I am definitely glad to hear that this was free, because if they had tried to charge like $20 or $30 for it, they would have gotten even more destroyed for this really lackluster experience. But the whole theme of this game just did not sit well with people. Ascension did not sit well with people, and it really just seems like Konami needs to figure out what fans of this franchise actually want, because they could be making a lot of money from Silent Hill, but they just haven't been able to create any good products over the past few years, and Silent Hill, the short message, definitely is not changing that trend. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.